Yeah, thank you. I just want to say first, all glory to God. Without him, I am nothing.
Power the shove, Neighbor Nation, we will see you on Saturday afternoon. Riley Meister gets the point.
Back into left field, say goodnight to that baseball.
This is another one. It's back-to-back jacks for KSU Tuscarawas. Needs a point, and it's alive. Hansen pushes it over. Unbelievable. We play on. It's blocked. We're tied. We're tied. Unbelievable.
How much baseball is too much baseball? That is a question that we do not have an answer to, as after 16 innings, we had decided that's not enough baseball for one day. It's time for game number 2 of our doubleheader between the KSU Tusk Golden Eagles and the Penn State Shenango Nittany Lions here on the SmeeSports YouTube channel as you are watching college baseball. Once again, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon, live from Conotton Valley High School, as the baseball team for Conotton Valley, they have opted to practice on the softball diamond today, as we currently have their field for game number 2 of our doubleheader. From some comments, we want 5, we want 7 innings, we want X amount. One thing is for sure, we do not want another 16-inning game, as of course a great win for KSU Tusk courtesy of Caleb Salgado's walk-off RBI single. But to have to do that again, it's going to be tough for these players. And the interesting thing to note, both starting pitchers pitched already in game number 1. KSU Tusk, they are going with Dakota Foltz yet again, the sophomore from Newark, now 3-0 on the year, as he will make his 9th appearance and his 3rd start on the year. And as for PSU Shenango, it is going to be Sangha, the freshman from Greenville, who gets the nod to start game number 2. Initially scheduled for 1 p.m., it is currently 3:50, so nearly 3 hours after our initial scheduled time. We are ready to go and back to the action for game number 2. And the first pitch is fouled off down the right field line. But a great ending to that game after 10 innings of no runs from 6th to the top of the 16th. Finally, 2 runs scored for KSU Tusk and 1 for Shenango. Here's the 0-1. Hard chopper down the first base line. Patchett has it. His flip to Foltz is in time. 1 up, 1 down. A nice job yet again by the pitchers. All the way around, we have seen a couple of really nice pitcher fielding plays. And that one is good enough to take down Forinardo. So 1 up, 1 down. And that'll bring up Michelotti, the second baseman. Of course, with this being game number 2, and given the sheer number of pitchers that we saw in game number 1, most likely this is going to be a bullpen game for both sides. Hard hit ball down the third base line, picked up by Maine. His throw on a hop to Patchett is passed. And it'll be the game's first error, giving Shenango their first base runner of game number 2. A tough one for Maine, a ranging play. A lot of the time that was a successful one back in game number 1, but of course, you're getting tired. He is back out there. This will be his 17th inning of work over at third base. Of course, some changes were made, but to keep fresh, it is tough in a game like this. But to look at the entire defense, it is Foltz on the mound, Bohannon as expected doing the catching. Patchett is at first with Salgado at second. Walter is at short while Maine stays at third base. And from left to right in the outfield, it is Jackson Motter, Caleb Campbell, and Cam Schofield. So a relatively similar starting lineup defensively for KSU Tusk as expected. Monard pitch hit, and I believe the 6th inning of game number 1. Haven't seen him since, and he could be a likely candidate to come in and pitch right after Foltz is done. And of course, the big question is, how long can Dakota Foltz go, throwing over 50 pitches in game number 1 down the stretch, as he ended up being the winning pitcher, taking over for Brenton Billman. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Right back to Foltz. He has the web gem, and the side is retired. It is a 1-3 double play, and the inning is over. You know what? Dakota Foltz might be fine to go the full way if he can't continue to make plays like that, as we will watch it back on the replay. A hard liner right back towards him. Nothing else could be done. Dakota Foltz and the KSU Tusk team fired up, and they are ready to attack again at the sticks. An excellent job there, and you can see the runner over at first base, Michelotti. Nowhere else that he can go, just kind of caught in the middle of a bad situation. Middle of 1 in Bowerston. No score on SmeeSports. Today's broadcast is brought to you by John G. Cloft Consulting. Thank you to the Cloft and Bohannon families for making today's telecast possible, along with Coach Morozek of Kent State Tuscarawas. To the bottom of the first inning we go in Conotton Valley High School's athletic complex. A great game won earlier today. A 4-3 win for KSU Tusk, knocking off Penn State Shenango. And the man in the on-deck circle, Caleb Salgado, the man who walked it off in game number 1. But before him, a man who set a milestone in game number 1, Caleb Campbell, now 76 career hits here at KSU Tusk. And as we mentioned, the only member of the squad that Coach Morozek inherited a few seasons ago. Coach Cole now 38-52 in his time here in Tuscarawas County, inheriting a 11-man roster. Since then, a 9-win season and a 15-win season. And with a win today, it would be back-to-back 15-win campaigns. And the kicker this time, you still have a month and a half of the season to go after today. Truly impressive what Coach Morozek has done in his 3-year tenure so far at KSU Tusk. The 1-1. Campbell pokes this one over towards third. It's Evans. His throw to 1 is on the money. 1 up, 1 down. And taking a look at this Penn State Shenango defense on the mound, yet again, it is Jacob Sanka. Doing the catching this time around, though, it is going to be Malley. At first base, it is Guarnieri. At second base, Micheletti. Short, it's Bachman again. Same with Nate Evans over at third. And left, it is Tyler Evans. In center, Fornataro, and in right, Walker rounds out the defense for the Penn State Nittany Lions Shenango squad. As Caleb Salgado steps in, he will take a first pitch strike. The last time we saw him, once again, a game-winning RBI single up into center field. A big walk-off in the 4-3 win. The 0-1, Salgado fouls that one off. It is starting to get a little bit cooler here, as we did have our hottest temperature of the day down the stretch in game number 1. And from here on out, it is only going to get colder. But still incredible that we are playing at this hour. Sanka's 0-2. A good drive from Salgado, but caught over at short. 2 down. The leather is being flashed and then some in game number 2. How do you do, Troy Bachman? We will watch that one back on the replay as well. Foltz, he may have just been one-upped. Just another great cut from Caleb Salgado, a guy that you always have to keep track of, just given his power, as Patchett will take a first pitch ball, but just an excellent diving effort. Maybe not graceful on the back end of it, but still an excellent web gem by Troy Bachman. Sanka's 1-0. Patchett, he will pop this one up once again, going towards Bachman at short. And he will double it up this inning. He makes back-to-back putouts, and the side is retired. For both teams to begin game number 2 this afternoon, they go 1, 2, 3. To the second inning we go. No score on SmeeSports. So far, combined 6 up, 6 down through the first inning. Now we get back to the action in the top of the second. Malley, Evans, and Guarnieri, 4, 5, and 6 due up for Penn State Shenango. Foltz' first pitch well off the plate for ball 1. But for those just tuning in, you are watching college baseball on the SmeeSports YouTube channel. A great first game earlier on today Make sure you go back and watch that one back when it's done. Maybe not in its totality, but if you do decide to do that, maybe take an intermission halfway through. Hard grounder up the middle, and it's a leadoff base knock for Jason Malley. A strong piece of hitting by the number 4 hitter. And as the catcher, that is where you lead your team by example on the bases. A 375 average entering the doubleheader today. A key player to look at offensively in game number 2. Last time out, it took until the 5th inning on a bunt single for the first hit of the day for Penn State Shenango. This time only takes until the top of the 2nd inning. And Josh Divins, the sophomore, will courtesy run for the catcher. Both sides have used that courtesy runner quite often today. Shenango more than KSU Tusk. Foltz's throwback not going to be in time. But here comes Nate Evans, a couple of web gems over at third base that kept that game going a lot longer than it really should have. He was a big difference maker over at the hot corner. And he will tip that one foul. 0-1 the count. The left side of the infield between Bachman and Evans, both of them really stepped up so many times in game number 1. In fact, the reason why we saw the 16th inning was because each of them made a game-saving play in the 14th and 15th. Foltz is 0-1. Takes it on the outside edge for strike 2. But if you're Dakota Foltz, he even mentioned the idea when he tossed over the lineup card earlier on today. He wants to go for back-to-back wins. It is very rare that a pitcher wins 2 games on the same day. He wants to do that here. Runner goes on the 0-2, and it'll be poked foul. And there it is, a coaching fielding play over at third. But Foltz can't pick it. The coach had it, the pitcher did not. I feel like something's flipped there. And the coach says it's on him. He will own up to it. He has been a lot of fun to listen to today. He has really gone to bat for his guys and have given them just so many opportunities to learn and grow from today's doubleheader. The 0-2 again. A good drive deep to right field. Underneath it is Schofield, and he will bring that one in for out number 1. His number was called so many times in game number 1, out and right, and yet again, it is a routine play. And I'm sure he is very grateful that the wind is not whipping as it was earlier on today. Still, we do have some gusts, I believe, at most 5 miles per hour. But when we got here at around 9 a.m., I got here at the same time as the team. It was really windy and not a pleasant morning, so to speak. And another good drive. This one into center field. It is Campbell this time who is underneath it, and he will make the play for out number 2. Back-to-back flyouts there for Penn State Shenango. And that'll bring up Brady Walker, the right fielder, and starting pitcher from game number 1. You can throw a rock and definitely hit a pitcher on the Shenango squad. 7 pitchers in game number 1 through 16 innings. By random draw, you're most likely going to find one of them. First pitch there for strike 1. So far, 1 hit this afternoon, and that is the base knock for Jason Malley to begin the inning. But, of course, plenty back in game number 1, I believe, around 20. Foltz is 0-1. Swing and a miss. Gets him to chase the high heat. And as Shenango's head coach says, it's time for that 2-strike approach. And, of course, that just simply means protect the plate. Foltz's 0-2 is well off of it for ball 1. But Dakota Foltz, a big opportunity for him, and he is not afraid of the challenge today. Here's his 1-2, and a good poke. This one into deep center field, still going back. Campbell underneath it makes the play just in front of the wall, and the side is retired. Plenty of pop behind the swings of the Nittany Lions bats, but in the end, no damage done in the top of the 2nd inning. To the bottom half of the frame we go, scoreless in Bowerston. Today's broadcast is brought to you by John G. Cloft Consulting. Thank you to the Cloft and Bohannon families for making today's telecast possible, along with Coach Morozak of KSU Tusk. And speaking of the Bohannon family, one of their finest in Wyatt steps in to get things underway in the bottom of the second inning. No score on SmeeSports. Sonka's first pitch taken by Bohannon out wide for a ball. Entering play today, Wyatt Bohannon, an absolutely great start to the season, batting .375. And now you add on the last game, 5 home runs. That stays the same, but an extra RBI, he now has 24. And a heavy swing and a miss there on the off speed. And you can see right in front of us just that nod of disapproval and knowing that he needs to be more level-headed with that approach. And definitely still some growing pains getting used to the collegiate game. The 1-1. Bohannon takes it inside for a strike. Now 1-2 the count. As expected, he did get the nod to catch game 2. I would assume from here on out, barring injuries, is going to be Ruther and Bohannon doing the catching this year for KSU Tusk. The 1-2, it is going to be there for strike 3 looking. 1 down. And that'll be game number 2's first punch out. A nice job there from Sonka coming back in after a not so ideal end to game number 1 to put it behind him and start off quite solid. 4 up, 4 down as here comes Jagger Rudder. Ruther did catch game number 1, did a great job behind the plate with the blocking. And he will foul the first one back. But for those just tuning in, expecting to be down the stretch in game number 2, in fact, it's quite the opposite. And once again, we'll keep reiterating it during the broadcast as I'm sure we're going to have a vastly different crowd for game number 2 than we did for game number 1, especially given how long that one went. But a 4-hour and 27-minute game definitely derailed this one. In most cases, 4 hours and 30 minutes is really all it takes for a doubleheader, so 427 should have fit the bill. In this case, not so much. Here's the 1-1. Good eye from Ruther. As long as these batters just keep their nerve and their patience at the same time at the plate, that'll definitely go a long way in helping them to be competitive in this outing. Sonka's 2-1. Ruther that time will take the strike. Count out 2 balls, 2 strikes. And usually we talk about some of the pitch counts later on, 80s, 90s. 50 about is what you would expect from both pitchers given the fact that they pitched in the last game. On the 2-2, it's right back up the middle. A nice snag by Sonka, and his throw is in plenty of time. Over to first, 2 down. And the great defense of the Nittany Lions continues to show up. 2 up, 2 down, and here comes Jackson Monard, the left fielder. Jackson Monard, a Penn State Fayette transfer. Entering play today, batting .219, pinch hit for Owen Walter in game number 1. Then Walter re-entered. Monard first pitch, fouling it off. And once again, what a beautiful facility here at Conotton Valley High School. Lovely turf, renovated a few years ago. The softball complex, which we will be back at Monday, or rather Sunday. Looks nice, the school behind us as well. Beautiful facilities all the way around. Monard pokes this one up the middle, over towards second. A sliding stop by Micheletti, but the throw is wild. Monard cruising into second base. He will take the turn, and he will stay put. It'll be an E4, but that'll give KSU Tusk their first runner of the game, and he is in scoring position, setting up Owen Walter quite nicely. Excellent hustle all the way around by Jackson Monard. Maybe should have just kept going. I don't think going to third, but looking back, maybe not. But I don't hate the decision. It's nitpicking at that point. But the first base runner is on in game number 2 for the Golden Eagles, and now they have a chance, if they get their first hit here, to take the lead. 7 combined runs in 16 innings earlier. I wouldn't expect a whole host of runs as of yet. But that could obviously change. First pitch to Walter. Breaks in beautifully for strike 1. And with Sonka staying on, going back to last game, he was the 7th and final arm. So he'll be the first one of this game and making sure that tally does not improve up to 8. And that is the key, keeping in control with pitching. And that ball will get away from Malley. So now Monard, on a few errors, is now 90 feet away from scoring. You look at this weekend, only 2 games for KSU Tusk. Penn State Shenango had to play a total of 4. Double the games, double the opportunities to use arms, and now just trying to use as many as they can. And The gutsy performance that we saw from Will Nardone really helped him out as he pitched over 100 pitches. Walter down the third base line. It is going to be called foul. And that was the game's opener right there. Instead, a count of 1-2. And Owen Walter has really been finding his stride as of late in a Golden Eagle uniform. From one bird to another as he transferred over from Hocking College. Count out 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sanka looking to get out of the inning here. His 1-2, and it will miss off the plate. So count now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Sanka as well up to 23 pitches. I would say he has more room to work with than Dakota Fultz. Sanka's 2-2. Walter again down the third base line and again foul. He is really hugging the line, getting it right where he needs it to be. Just a little bit more towards fair territory. Get it just fair down the line. Not only are we talking about an RBI-based knock, we're talking about an RBI double. And with his speed, I wouldn't be surprised if that were to be the case. The count does remain 2-2. And now full as that one nearly gets Walter on the break. If Owen keeps the inning going for KSU Tusk, it would turn over to Cam Schofield, the right fielder. 3 balls, 2 strikes, a full count here in the bottom of the second inning with a runner at third. Sanka's payoff pitch. It is there for strike 3 looking, and the side is retired. Second strike 3 looking of the inning recorded by Sanka. 2 punch outs today, and he will strut on back to the dugout. To the third inning we go. Scoreless on SmeeSports. Good vibes and good times today here at Conotton Valley High School in Bowerston. Welcome back to college baseball here on the SmeeSports YouTube channel as we get things underway in the top of the third inning. No score yet in game number 2. And Fultz's first pitch will miss up high for ball 1. Looking at the order for Shenango, it is Bevan, Evans, and Fornataro, 8, 9, and 1 due up. And a good drive to get things underway, and it's just off of Salgado's glove. Nearly the biggest web gem of the day. Instead, it's a leadoff single for Mason Bevan, and I think he is thanking his lucky stars right now. I mean, if Salgado came down with that somehow, forget it. Welcome to the show. Instead, he will have to work a little bit harder to get out of this inning. A well-deserved hit. And I would not want to be Mason Bevan right there, as there was just nothing he could have done about it if that was indeed a catch. And now they're thinking small as that one is bunted foul by Evans. Tyler Evans, a senior coming to this squad from Anclot High School out of Florida. So maybe not too used to these chillier temperatures. But of course, during his time at Shenango, he has become more accustomed to it. Fultz is 0-1. The bunt perfectly down, a drag bunt that time in no man's land, but Fultz is able to make the play for out number 1. Very rare to see a drag bunt at this level, but it worked out perfectly that time in a tough spot and nearly forced an error from Fultz. But yet another great pitcher fielding play. That'll be his second put out, or third if we're counting both ends of the double play so far today, independent of strikeouts, says. Right now, through one go-around, he has none. But back to the top of the order we go here with Dominic Fornataro. First pitch there for strike one. And the first pitch strike chant has returned for KSU Tusk. Not a bad mantra at all. It has been big so far today and will be big down the stretch this season. The 0-1. Hard hit ball up the middle, off the mound. It's going to be Walter's ball to take. He throws the patch it, and Jeremy keeps his foot on the bag for out number 2. An excellent stretch again from the first baseman on the throw from Walter at short. But that'll put the go-ahead run 90 feet away from scoring. And now a prime opportunity here for Michelotti. Michelotti, the first time up, reached on an error as Maine had a bobble over at third. And then in the end, it resulted to a wayward throw. But the lefty a chance to do some damage here on the top of the third inning. Combined between both games except for the top of the 16th. Shenango yet to lead today in the normal 7. There it is again. They'll tell you, first pitch strike. But going back to that game, it was 2-0 for the longest time for KSU Tusk. Then 2 runs at the top of the 6th, and that created our really crazy performance. Walter over at short takes it in front of Salgado. His throw is in, time to patch it, and the side is retired. And just like that, no damage is done by Penn State Shenango, and Owen Walter clutches up with back-to-back putouts from short. To the bottom of the third we go. Again, we're sensing a theme. Scoreless on SmeeSports. Today's broadcast is brought to you by John G. Clough Consulting, along with Coach Cole Morazek of KSU Tuscarawas. Thank you to both of our supporters, one from the coaching side and one from the advertising side, for making today's telecast possible. To the bottom of the third inning we go. No scoring game number 2 on the SmeeSports YouTube channel as we welcome you back to the action between KSU Tusk and Penn State Shenango. First pitch there, missing low for ball 1. With Shenango so far, really a great job fighting. And the way that they have played today, so gritty from top to bottom. Pitcher number 1 to now pitcher number 7 with Sanka. And speaking of web gems, nearly one that got by, but again, it's Nate Evans for out number 1. I mean, I wasn't certain he got it, but my goodness, that one was shot out of a cannon. But Evans still able to make the play. And that's a tough way for Schofield to go out there. But watching it back on the replay, my goodness. And there it is. You just get the back end of it there. But my goodness, plenty of power behind that dive. And Bachman and Evans continue their great days over on the left side of the infield. The 1-0 tipped foul by Maine. Count now 1-1. We have seen so many great plays from both teams today. The highlight tape, if you made one from start to finish of both games, it would be quite long. Sanka's 1-1. Man, a good eye takes it low. And the on-deck circle for the Golden Eagles. We go back to the top of the order with Caleb Campbell. Sanka's 2-1. Man, a hard hit grounder off towards the right side. Bobbled in the hole. And it'll be an E4 with one down. But another base runner for KSU Tusk, as it'll be the second error on the defense. But it's off on a nice ranging play, though, by the second baseman. Micheletti to even get close to it. In the end, an awkward bounce. That'll be his second error of the day. And back to the top we go with Caleb Campbell. A great day for him, once again reaching the 75-plus hit mark. Now at 76 in his KSU Tusk career. And Maine wastes no time. He will go, but he has to go right back as this one is skied up right in front of us. And there is a great angle of that play as it is called off and caught by Evans for out number 2. Again, I was starting to think that one was going to come right towards us, just beyond the fence. So 2 down now as Caleb Salgado steps back in. Of course, the hero back in game number 1 with the walk-off RBI single. And for those who haven't been on the broadcast before, haven't heard it before, if KSU Tusk wins here, they will match their win tally from last season. And that'll be a pass ball, and that will do wonders for them, putting the opening run in scoring position. That really just shows the progression of this group. And as I've said, and I'm still not afraid to say it, Tri-C was the story of last spring, the Cleveland Baseball Federation, the story of last summer. This spring, it's KSU Tusk. And I would say, without a doubt, it is their story. And so far, it's a nice one. The 1-0, Salgado, a nice drive deep to center field. But it's caught on a line, and the side is retired. Fornataro in the right spot had to range over a little bit. But in the end, a routine flyout for him, and the inning is over. Looking at the time, 32 minutes in, 3 innings down, to the 4th we go. Bachman, Malley, and Evans, 3, 4, and 5 duo for Penn State Shenango here in the top of the 4th inning as you are watching college baseball on SmeeSports. Once again, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon, live from Conotton Valley High School. A long day at the office, but a great day for some baseball. Getting a little bit chillier with the wind again, but overall, if this is what you are going to get in the month of March for baseball, you will take it. And again, I will reiterate this point. This morning, there was ice on my car. There was snow on my car. I had to use the snow chipper in late March. Now, pristine conditions, we'll take it. Swing and a miss on the first offering, 0-1 the count. Again, both starting pitchers going through 3 innings thus far in this game. Nothing out of the ordinary. Oh, by the way, they both pitched in game number 1. That makes it so much more impressive. The 0-1 misses up high. And as expected, we will have some action in the bullpen for KSU Tusk. As we've mentioned, the clock on Foltz is definitely faster than the clock that we have on Sonka, given the fact that he came in a little bit before number 2. A good drive, but a foul down the right field line. And an opening message sent by Troy Bachman to the new pitcher warming up. And that is James Dre, the sophomore from Cedarville High School. Assuming he does come in, this will be his 6th appearance of the season. Count now 1-2 on Bachman. Foltz sets and delivers. Misses up and out. The impressive thing here, not to jinx Penn State at all, but no strikeouts yet for Foltz in this game. Foltz trying to change that notion here. His 2-2. Fouled back. And the live to fight another pitch approach has been very common today for Shenango. A lot of foul balls, same with KSU Tusk. When it's all said and done, we are going to see, I would say, over 300 pitches from both teams combined, each. So at that point, 600 or even 700 potentially. Here's the 2-2, and it's a beautiful drive into right center field, and that one is going to get down. And it's a big single here for Penn State Shenango. It'll be a leadoff base knock for Bachman. That'll be the third hit of game number 2 for the Nittany Lions. And with the leadoff man on here, that'll bring up Jason Malloy, the catcher. A single his first time up. Full's trying to find his rhythm yet again. First pitch in the zone, down low for strike one. And again, those knee-esque calls have been very common today. And I believe we did have the umpires flip. So that's even more interesting to see that it'll still continue on. Fultz, he will throw back to one. A good idea, not in time. But as I was saying last game, to go down lower with Patchett, that was the key. But instead of Patchett over at first base, we will have a new man down there. And I believe that is Nathan Ashcraft, the sophomore. Fultz is 0-1. Swing and a miss, now 0-2. But I would expect to see a lot of defensive changes made by the end of this game for KSU Tusk. That'll be a big one, especially with all the picks and stretches from Patchett today. Swing and a miss on the 0-2. The back pick, it'll sail high, but Ashcraft able to track it down. There is out number 1 in the first strikeout today for Dakota Fultz. And exactly what he needed to get there. Some rhythm, getting it out. And now you set up the double play ball here as Nate Evans steps back in as he flew out to right his first time up. Throw back again, not in time. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 4th inning, it is going to be Patchett if he does stay in. If not, it is going to be Ashcraft, then Bohannon and Ruther. So 3, 4, and 5. And again, it'll be a conversation of what you want to do there. I would assume at least that is going to be Ashcraft for this time, but you can re-enter. 1-0 count. Fultz sets and delivers as the runner goes. Swing and a miss. Bohannon shut down at 2 is not in time. Gets the strike, but not the runner. The go-ahead run now in scoring position for Shenango. And I think both sides desperately want to get on the board here quickly. They do not want to see another long extra inning game like we saw earlier on today. Fultz is 1-1. Hard hit grounder over towards short and third, and it's going to be a seeing eye single. They will send the runner home. The relay to the plate is going to be close, but not in time. It is an RBI single for Nate Evans, and Penn State Shenango has the lead 1-0. An excellent piece of hitting there from Evans, and on the throw home, able to take seconds. That is timely hitting for the Nittany Lions, and we'll watch it back here on the replay just past Maine, and Walter unable to get there in time either. But a very competitive throw home, just not enough behind it in the end. And the Nittany Lions have the advantage in the top of the 4th. First pitch from Fultz off the plate. And again, with Dre warming up, wouldn't be surprised to see him come in to begin the 5th. So time quickly winding down on Fultz's opportunity to double it up in the win column today, at least personally. His 1-0. Sky down out of play behind us. And a heavy bounce, and it is going to avoid the trailer that is parked a little bit behind us as well. And I think that both sides are just happy this one isn't up by the road. Count still 1-1 on the lefty. And a good take there. Now 2-1 the count. Guanyuri, once again the junior, a local talent from Niles McGinley High School. Fultz checks and delivers the 2-1. And a good take, low and in for ball 3. In the on-deck circle for Shenango, it is Brady Walker. Right fielder looking to make an impact here, potentially with 2 on and 1 down. And that would be the ideal scenario here for the Nittany Lions. The first fault, he will look back and throw in the end. Outside of just this being win number 15, if KSU Tusk does get the win this afternoon, outside of other games being played, they would improve to 5th in the USCAA. And a good drive into left field. Underneath it is Monard, and he will make the grab for out number 2. The runner thought about tacking up, but a strong relay prevents him. Nice job out in left field by Monard, and that's the name of the game. Get the ball in quickly here, and do not allow extra bases for your opponents. And with 2 down, Walker will step in. Still that runner at second base to try and bring around. Either way, the damage has been done this inning. Now 1-0 your score. Foles takes his time and delivers. And another good drive. This one into center field, dying by the wind, but caught by Campbell, and the side is retired. A nice job tracking that one down by Caleb Campbell, and the inning is over. Halfway through, courtesy of an RBI single from Nate Evans, Penn State Shenango in the driver's seat, up 1-0 on KSU Tusk. It'll be Nathan Ashcraft into the ball game, making the substitution for Patchett in the top of the inning defensively, now in the bottom offensively for KSU Tusk to get things underway in the bottom of the 4th inning as you are watching college baseball on SmeeSports. Once again, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this afternoon. First pitch to Ashcraft is in the dirt for ball 1. Both Sanka and Foltz still in the game. If they do get through this inning, then each will have thrown at least 4 of game number 2 after pitching in game number 1. The 1-0 missing in the same spot. But the Golden Eagles in need of some run support here, down by 1. Haven't trailed outside of the top of the 16th, heading into the bottom of the frame. On the 2-0 that time, it'll find the zone for strike 1. But I think both sides know just how important game number 2 is to decide which team does get the better end of this. And I think still KSU Tusk will, as you get the win in 16 innings. That is just demoralizing. But a win here, that would be ideal for Shenango, as still you come out of the road trip 1 win richer. The 3-1, a good drive from Ashcraft, and it's a leadoff base knock for the sophomore. Plenty of zip behind that cut from the new first baseman. Entered play today with a .333 career average, batting .238 on the year, and that'll help out his cause here, as here comes Wyatt Bohannon. A one-man wrecking machine for KSU Tusk's offense. 1 RBI so far today is his contribution to the cause. And that came back in game number 1. But a chance here to do it again. First pitch, he will take up high for ball 1. And for those keeping track of the time, we are just over 40 minutes into game number 2. So a fast game thus far, but that was the facade that we saw in game number 1. Bohannon, a patient approach, takes that one up as well. And Coach Morzak giving some words of encouragement as well to Wyatt Bohannon. Runner at first, none down in the bottom of the fourth. And he will take for ball 3. And I think, again, just seeing this stretch for Sonko, you got to take here. Obviously, if it's perfect, maybe he has the green light. If not, then just be patient, reach via the walk, and let the rest of your offense step up. And now he will fake a bunt, and either way, it's ball 4 inside. I was about to say, I don't think he is going to try to lay down a bunt there, but you never know. And an immediate courtesy for Bohannon, but that'll bring up now another new batter. This is going to be Jake Cronin, the freshman, coming in. So the second substitution of this second go-around, but of course, given how game 1 went, no surprise to see these changes. So Cronin is going to be your new DH replacing Ruther, unless this is a one-off move. Definitely could be, but a potential breaking point in the game. He will show bunt and pull it back as it's a passed ball. So now 2 runners in scoring position for KSU Tusk, and still no one down at the top, or rather the bottom of the 4th. And this is where they need to put together one of those classic rallies. Last time they were in this spot, they played it 2 to win the game. And with no one down in a prime spot, and I think this is where you might go away from the bunt and just let him swing away. Cronin, though, looking for his first career collegiate at-bat. Or hit, rather. So far, 0 for 6. But looking back to last year at the high school level, a very good senior year for Atlantic. A .419 average, 9 RBIs, 3 doubles, a triple, and 16 stolen bases. So definitely has the know-how and the ability to provide. That time taking a strike inside. 1-2 the count on Cronin. In the on-deck circle, it tosses over to Jackson Monard. And before the next pitch, Sonka, he will step off as there is some action again in the bullpen. And surprise, surprise, a name that we've already called today. Updegraff getting warm again. This could be our second repeat pitcher of the day. The 1-2, thought about it, but holds up in the end. A big league take from Cronin. And that'll even things up at 2-2. And I think they called that one inside, but the elevation was okay, as once again Shenango wanted an explanation, and fair point. Here's the 2-2. Off the plate, we are full. A big chance for Cronin to load up the bases for Jackson Monard. And from there it becomes whoever can step up and hit. Be the guest, do it. A pivotal payoff pitch here for Sonka. And it's a good drive down the right field line. What a time for your first career collegiate hit. That'll drive in a pair. It is a 2 RBI double for Jake Cronin. The freshman has stepped up in a big moment and provided a massive spark for the Golden Eagles. What a drive down the right field line. KSU Tusk, they are back in business. We'll watch this one back on the replay. What a way to straighten out your swing and just put a good rip on it. And just like that, the pressure is off of Jackson Monard. Still nobody out, just a runner at second base with a 1-run lead. And this is where Monard can leave his impact on the game as well. And a good take there for ball 1. The only times they have trailed today, they have responded with 2 runs in the bottom of the inning. Really impressive responses from KSU Tusk. The 1-0 misses at eye level to Monard. After Jackson, it turns to Owen Walter, then Schofield and Maine to round out the bottom of the order. But right now, the point of difference, the 2 RBI double for Jake Cronin. And Monard, a weak poker, back to the pitcher. They will look him back. Now he takes off Cronin. He will get to third. 1 down as Monard is retired over at 1. But a productive out there for Jackson Monard. And now a chance for an insurance run to be brought in by Owen Walter. Time called here first, as this could be a pitching change made for Shenango. Sonka, he is at 48 pitches. We need to see Updegraff warm up for a few moments. He still appears to be getting ready. But we'll see here He looks on as I think he might be partially expecting to come into the ball game now. And for now, the answer is no. So fifth captain Sanka, and he will try to navigate out of this jam in the bottom of the fourth inning, down 2-1. And some good old John Party on the aux here for Owen Walter. Heartache Medication, one of his better songs. A lot of great song choices today all the way around for KSU Tusk. Whoever is on aux is doing a great job. First pitch to Walter is going to miss for ball one, and most of the songs are walk-ups, but we've heard some great ones today. And now I believe the word melancholy has just been yelled from the dugout. Here's the 1-0, fouled back. But they have been loud and active as expected today, and that has provided a big spark to the home team. But this game, it has been just as we expected, another really close game. Hopefully it doesn't go nearly as long as game number one did, and I think both parties will be okay with being out of here by the 6 o'clock hour. The 1-1, poked foul by Walter. Count now 1-2. And as well, we are now 50 minutes into the game. So not even an hour in and nearly through 4 innings. So not a bad spot to be by any stretch. Sanka's 1-2, and it's fouled off and right into the dugouts. Next inning for Shenango, they will have Bevan, Evans, and Fornataro, so 8, 9, and 1 due up. Count remains 1-2. And he will take up high, evening things up. The bottom of the strike zone, or rather, the bottom of the order, just doing a great job here and navigating through this the right way. And another good take up high, and we are full. And now the big league chant will come out for the big league take. Not surprised to hear that at all, as we've seen so many great ones today. Cronin, during his at-bat moments ago, had one as well. And ball 4 is there. It's up high to Walter. And now here comes the call to the bullpen for Penn State Shenango. But runners at the corners, 1 down. Sean Updegraff will be on the mound when we return, assuming he does make the change. He started walking out here, and now will he do it? No. So Updegraff out with him. The answer is not going to be a change. And now it looks like at the bullpen, more action for KSU Tusk as Dre is getting ready to go. And most likely that'll mean he will come on and do his thing in the 5th. But right now the focus is on Cam Schofield, who lined out to third his first time up. And it's a passed ball. That'll bring in a run potentially. The play is not in time. Cronin will take home from third. And that'll make it 3-1 KSU Tusk. That dugout is absolutely loving it. And believe it or not, that is the most explosive inning that we have seen today. A combined 4 runs. And with one more, they will tie their entire output from the 16 innings of game number 1. And of course, still a runner over at second base. Schofield, another good take there. Now 2-0 the count. This game, though, telling us a lot about what this KSU Tusk team is made of and just the resilience that they have from top to bottom. It's not easy going from a 16-inning game to playing more baseball. But outside of a couple of plays and, of course, the 1 run allowed in the top of the 4th inning, they have responded to the challenge really well. Of course, a deep team, but for the most part, except with the substitution at catcher and first now, the infield, second, short, and third is still the same. The 2-1, a beautiful swing into the right field corner. That'll be a base knock for Schofield, and that'll bring around Walter. A beautiful RBI base knock for Cam Schofield. Make it 4-1 KSU Tusk, and their bats have officially woken up. Those liners into the right field corner have been so difficult to contain today. And that should go down as a base knock, as it was on the kind of fielding error that he was able to advance, as we'll see it there, an awkward hop. So an RBI single is the scoring for Camp Schofield, and that'll do it for Sonka on the mound today. Now this time, the statement is true. Sean Updegraff, when we return, will be on the mound for Penn State Shenango. Today's broadcast is brought to you by John G. Cloft Consulting. Thank you to the Cloft and Bohannon families for making today's telecast possible, along with Coach Morozak of KSU Tusk. Time now for the call to the bullpen for PSU Shenango. It'll be Sean Updegraff back on the mound. We saw him in game number 1. Now a chance here to come back in to settle things down in the bottom of the 4th inning, down 4-1 to KSU Tusk. And his first pitch is on the money, 0-1 the count. And still 1 down in the inning. The KSU Tusk bats have woken up, and this is exactly what the doctor ordered for the Golden Eagles. The 0-1 bobbles in. A one-hopper there to the catcher. But this is exactly what we expected to see from this offense. The moment they get going, it is really hard to shut them down and keep it going consistently. They were able to wake up down the stretch of game number 1 and did just enough to win that one. And here, up by 3, their biggest lead of the day. Man, a good drive, but foul. And as he was the pitcher this inning, Foltz, he is in line then to get his win, and especially if he comes back out and again will pitch, at least one pitch, even more so, in line for 2 wins on the same day. And I'm sure he would be quite pleased with that one. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count on Maine. Updegraff takes his time and will deliver. Maine again fouling it off. B. Maine not afraid to get some good contact on it and drive it foul. And as well, with 4:48 being our current time Eastern Standardly, if that's even the correct term for that, we are about 1 hour and 58 minutes to be exact. Count remains 1-2 on Maine. Updegraff sets and fires. Maine, a good drive. This one out into shallow right center. And there is the catch for out number 2. And they will send up the runner. And Schofield is easily in at third. So the out not in vain there for KSU Tusk, as it's a productive out from Braden Maine, setting things up for Caleb Campbell back at the top of the order. And with 2 down here, getting 1 more across to get a 5 spot this inning. It is crucial for this KSU Tusk team. They give them plenty of cushion, and it'll allow them to play the game the way they know how to play. And with some comfortability, that'll give their next pitcher and James Dre plenty of wiggle room if he is to struggle early. As with this inning in mind, the countdown begins, needing 9 outs to get things done. And a 1 count here to begin on Caleb Campbell. Hard grounder hit over towards second. The throw over to one from Micheletti is in time, and the side is retired. A nice response by the defense as Up to Grab comes on and settles it down in the bottom of the fourth. But not before 4 runs come to pass for the Golden Eagles through 4 in Bowerston. It is KSU Tusk flying in the skies, up 4-1 on Shenango. Time now for the call to the bullpen for KSU Tusk as they will turn to sophomore pitcher James Dre to come in to take over for Dakota Foltz. A strong outing for him as he is currently in line to get win number 2 on the day. This will be appearance number 6 on the year for Dre. So far, 1 save for him and an ERA of 7.36. His first pitch off the plate for ball 1. But he will have plenty of insurance runs behind him, courtesy of the Golden Eagle offense, plating 4 in the bottom of the 4th inning, changing this game. Now 4-1 your score, with all 5 combined runs being scored in the inning just gone. The 1-0 off the plate for ball 2. As I mentioned during that inning, you have to look at it this way. 9 outs away from getting the win. Get those outs, and you walk out of here 2-0 on the day, and 15-9 on the season. The 2-0. Just off the plate again for ball 3. This inning for Shenango, it is going to be Bevan, Evans, and Fornataro. So 8-9-1 for the Nittany Lions. And just like Penn State Fayette, they have fought tooth and nail with the Golden Eagles today. The 3-0. There for strike 1. And exactly what the doctor ordered for Dre. Finding rhythm for him is key, as once he finds an out, that'll mean he pitched a total of 4 complete innings so far this year. So not too much work for him. And he will have a full count to work with as that one is fouled away. Mason Bevan, the DH, trying to be the leadoff man aboard for Shenango. And here comes the payoff pitch. A good drive deep to left center field. And it'll be called off and caught for out number 1 by Monard. A strong defensive day for the former Penn State Fayette Nittany Lion. A few transfers coming over from Fayette with, of course, them and other satellites, including Shenango, closing down at the end of next year's academic year. And again, just an unfortunate situation over there. And to the guys who stuck around, all the more power to you. And congratulations, you guys deserve all the respect and credit in the world for it. First pitch fouled off towards the softball field, 0-1 the count. While we call it a softball field right now, more of a baseball practice field, if you will, as once again, Conotton Valley scheduled to practice here at 3 p.m. got bumped due to the elongation of game number 1. The 0-1 now skips in. But again, beautiful facilities here. You have the baseball field off to our left, the softball diamond. Then, of course, in the little hut, if you will, you have the restroom complex and the concession stand. And we will be back here on Sunday for some KSU Tusk softball as that makes its debut here on the channel in a doubleheader against Penn State Fayette. Here's the 1-1. Hard grounder up the middle, and it's through into center field for a one-out base knock for Tyler Evans. That'll be hit number 5 today in game number 2 for the Nittany Lions. And with one down, that'll bring us back to the top of the order with Fornataro. So far, 0 for 2 with a pair of ground outs, 1 to first and 1 to short. And now some extra action in the bullpen for KSU Tusk. That'll be number 23, Dearian Checo, the freshman from Michigan, warming up. That time a good response from Dre, 0-1 the count. And this can easily become where the bullpen matters most, where each guy has an inning and you go from there. And that could mean it could be 19-23 and then you go to left field for Monard. They are back in action this weekend, but still a few days off, at least 3, which is key for these pitchers. And of course, you don't have a guy like Caden Castillo today in your ace who you threw on the weekend, but it ended up working out in your favor. The 1-1, hard hit ball up the middle, and it's going to be off of the mound and off of Salgado's shin. A tough pill to swallow for the KSU Tusk defense, and nothing they could have done there. But that'll put 2 on with 1 down, and that'll bring up the tying run in Bachman. Or rather, it's going to be in Michelotti as Bachman went to just retrieve the bats. I believe now they're going to call that a base knock, and just given how hard that one was hit, I would agree. But Michelotti, a chance to be a hero for Shenango. But of course, a ground ball could mean trouble. First pitch, missing for ball 1. And as well, we are officially over an hour into game number 2. But I don't think we're going to ever see anything like what we did see in game number 1. A game going 4 hours and 27 minutes. 16 total innings and a 4-3 score. Fake bunt there, but a strike still the call. 1-1 the count. Next inning for the Golden Eagle, Salgado, Ashcraft, and Bohannon. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 getting things underway in the bottom of the 5th. The 1-1, low for ball 2. Of course, given that insurance, you don't want to have to use it too early. And that could mean we see another call to the bullpen here this inning. Dre trying to settle in and find some rhythm. This will be his 17th pitch of the inning on the 2-1. Hard hit grounder over towards third, picked up, but they are going to call it foul. And if you're a Penn State Shenango, that is best case scenario, as most likely that could have been a simple 5-3 double play from third to first. Count now 2-2. Michelotti trying to stay alive here. 2 on, 1 down at the top of the 5th. Here's the 2-2. Hard hit grounder over towards first. They will step on the bag there, and no other play to make. 2 down. I don't hate the decision there, though, for Ashcraft. You get the for sure out, but 2 runners in scoring position. A daunting task to try and settle down, but definitely doable. And that'll bring up Troy Bachman, the shortstop, hit into a 1-3 double play his first time up, and then fouled that up with a base knock. Time now called, and this could be the call to the bullpen, and we will see. And it looks like the answer is going to be yes. So it'll be 2/3 of an inning's work for Dre. And that'll set the table here for Checo to come on in from the bullpen. And when we return, it'll be number 23 on the mound for KSU Tusk. Time now for the call to the bullpen for KSU Tusk at the top of the 5th inning. De'Arion Checo, the freshman from Michigan, will step on the mound for the 5th time this year. So far, 6 innings of work for him with a 3.00 ERA. And his task is simple: shut down the offense of Shenango as they look to get out of the top of the 5th inning unscathed. And it's a first pitch strike for him, the exact start desired. And now more action. It is Aiden Baker in the bullpen for KSU Tusk. Checo's 0-1. Bachman takes it low. A great day of baseball all the way around, but going on to hour number 6 combined between the two games. In short, a long day at the office, no matter which way you look at it. The 1-1 off the plate for ball 2. Again, make sure you tune in tomorrow in, 24 hours from now, as we will be at Alliance High School as the Aviators take on Canton Central in a softball matchup. And that'll be their home opener. Here's the 2-1. It'll be to the backstop, and they will send the runner home, and he will easily be in there. So a pass ball run scores for Shenango. And that'll make it 4-2, and still the third run now 90 feet away. This is the inning that the Nittany Lions needed to answer after a rough bottom of the 4th inning. And again, for KSU Tusk, you want to get back to the sticks, get some more insurance. Checo's 3-1. And it's a beautiful drive into right field, and it will one-hop to Schofield. It is an RBI single for Troy Bachman. Make it 4-3. Bachman now on the day, 2 for 3 at the sticks. And the tying run now stands at first base for Penn State Shenango, and that'll set up Jason Malley, the catcher. 1 for 2 on the afternoon, a base knock and a strikeout. And still Baker continues to warm up in the bullpen for the Golden Eagles. Swing and a miss, the runner will go, and no attempt from Bohannon. At this point, the goal is to get out of this inning with the lead. With 2 down, you do have that on your side, but otherwise in a really tough spot. Checo's 0-1, lobbed in there and skied off towards the right side. Ashcraft called off by Salgado. He will take it, and no, he will drop it. And we are tied up at 4. Lost it in the sun in the end, and the honors are even. An unfortunate play over at 1. That was a tough one. Ashcraft called off, kind of went into his territory, then curled away. Salgado couldn't bring it in, and the go-ahead run now stands at first base. With the 4 runs scored, erased by 3 this inning. And you look at the hit parade, only 3 in game number 2 for the Golden Eagles, a total of 7 for Penn State Shenango. And in that regard, they have a big advantage. And I think this will be the last batter before Baker were to come in. Checo needs to find out number 3 somewhere. Runner will go. It is open season in that regard. As the first pitch now fouled away, 0-1 the count. A lot of good cuts all the way around this afternoon from both sides. And again, you still do have Jackson monitored out in left field as a potential option if needed to come on and pitch. Checo, he will throw back to 1 and not in time. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 5th inning for KSU, it is Salgado, Patchett, and Bohannon, or rather Ashcraft, as Patchett is now out of the game. Runner goes again on the 0-1, it's high. Double clutch, Bohannon's throw close but not in time. Just couldn't get it out of the glove quickly enough. Count now 0-2, but just like that, your go-ahead run in scoring position. A base knock could be enough to give Shenango back their lead and erase the 4 runs scored by the Golden Eagles last inning. The 1-1 fouled off. Count now 1-2. And not that this game will have that much more time left, but we are within a few hours of sundown, which, considering if you look at game number 2, is supposed to start at 1 o'clock, is incredible that we even have that conversation. Here's the 1-2. A poke off towards the left side, scooped up at short. Walter's throw to one is just in time, and the side is retired. A nice stretch by Nathan Ashcraft over at one does the trick, and the inning is over. But we have a new ball game on our hands, courtesy of a 3-run explosion for the offense of Penn State Shenango. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Yet another gem brewing in Bowerston. Honors even at 4. Welcome back to Conotton Valley High School. We do have a change behind the plate. It is going to be Perry into the game for Malley. Other than that, business as usual. And as you would expect on an obscure day like this, 4-4 your score, bottom of the 5th inning. For the Golden Eagles, it is going to be Salgado, Ashcraft, and Bohannon. 2, 3, and 4, followed up by, in the number 4 spot this inning, number 5 overall, Jake Cronin, who last time up had his first career collegiate base knock. And on top of that, it was an RBI double. 2 RBI double to be exact. But once again, today's broadcast is brought to you by John G. Kloft Consulting. Thank you to the Kloft and Bohannon families for helping make today's telecast possible. In the hit parade column, more of a parade for Shenango. They have 7 so far. The Golden Eagles, more of a gathering, only 3. That first pitch zips right by Salgado's head. Little high heat there for the senior from Nevada. 1-0 the count. And this is his 2nd season here for KSU Tusk. The 1-0 lobbed in, up high and missing. We saw what this offense can do last time out, and they want to do it again here. And I think the big thing for them, and for both sides, get this game done within the 7 innings. If you go beyond that, the pitching, it is just going to be whoever's arm has not fallen off yet. And that pitch taken there for a strike. Now 2-1 the count. Combined between both games, this is the 21st inning of baseball being played today. And initially, we were only supposed to, at a maximum, have 14. The 2-1. Skipping in and bouncing away. But a 4.5-hour baseball game, saying it and even still after witnessing it, it does not seem real. And we very nearly had the 17th inning. We were not too far away from the record. 9 more innings would have done it, as the record is 25 innings for a collegiate baseball game. From what I was told, maybe a game between Texas and Boston College. Up to Graff's 3-1. Salgado skies this one on the infield, over towards first. And there is out number 1. So 1 up, 1 down. And here comes Ashcraft back into the game. So far today at the plate, 1 for 1. But a nice catch in the sun over there by Guarnieri. But this, again, even without Patchett, is more of your power in the lineup, especially your 2, 3, and 4. First pitch, a strong take from Ashcraft. And this is where, with some of your seniors not really able to play the whole time, Patchett, a great shift for him today at first base. You have to see what you have in your future. And this is where a guy like Ashcraft gets the opportunity as a sophomore, looking ahead to the future as a junior and senior. The 1-0 there for a 1-1 count. Beyond that, of course, Salgado, a senior, you're going to lose him after this year. You lose some key pieces, of course, and every team that has a few seniors, that will really hurt them, especially with Billman out of the bullpen as well. But Campbell, the leader, another big one. People now will see how these guys have played and want to come here. And in our interview with Coach Morozek, he said one of the toughest things about recruiting is getting people out to Tuscarawas County in Ohio. And with guys like these seniors, the foundation has been laid and the blueprint is there to really set the stage for the future of the program. Here's the 1-2. Ashcraft, another beautiful rip. This one is down in center field. He is now 2 for 2 on the afternoon. He has half of the hits in game number 2 for KSU Tusk. And that'll set up the big man, Wyatt Bohannon. The go-ahead run over at first base. It is a crucial time for this offense. So far, a walk and a strikeout looking for him. And it looks like now in the bullpen, obviously can't come in the game as he is A, not suited, and B, pitched on Saturday, but Caden Castillo doing some light work there. Of course, a couple of the pitchers couldn't pitch, and then Quinby pitched in game number 1 was in street close by the end of it, as you would imagine. But all the pitchers today for KSU Tusk have done a great job all the way around. Foltz pitching in both games, impressive. Billman nearly throwing 100 pitches, impressive as well. He went deep into extra innings, and Foltz was able to close it out. Throwback to 1, it's close, but not in time. Just too far in front of the glove at first. If Guarnieri was led a little bit further back, Ashcraft could have been gotten out. That easily could have been one that you want back A, but also B, easily fixable with a few different tweaks. And of course, you did have him on the lean. Here's the 1-0. Fouled back by Bohannon. And I believe now a good part of the KSU Tusk softball team waiting for the softball field. This one game of the doubleheader has thrown off everybody here today at Conotton Valley High School. But again, excited to see them in action on Sunday against Penn State Fayette. Here's the 1-1. In there for strike 2. And now it's protect mode time for Wyatt Bohannon. We've talked about him so many times today, but if you compare his stats to an honorable mention All-American last year in Jeremy Patchett, he is well on his way to joining the ranks of Golden Eagles who became All-Americans in the USCAA. And so the point is that if this game does go in favor of the Golden Eagles, independent of the other results, as of course that can change the standings, they would currently sit 5th in the USCAA rankings. Of course, new rankings do come out tomorrow. Bohannon, a good take on the 1-2. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them jump into the top 10. They might not be 5 where, of course, the standings do have discrepancies in that regard. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them in the top 10. Best 10 teams in the USCAA play in the World Series. And KSU Tusk, they think they can make it there this year. There'll be a strike 3 looking on him. 2 down, but that'll be a stolen base. So it's really productive out here for Bohannon. And here comes Jake Cronin. But strikeout number 1 today for Updegraff. That'll be number 3 in this game between him and Sanka. On KSU's side, they have 1 strikeout all the way around, which is really incredible when you think about it. But see down here for Jake Cronin, a chance to be the hero again. Swing and a miss, swinging through it. If this is the end of the line in the 5th, it would turn to Monard, Walter, and Schofield, 6, 7, and 8 in the 6th. But 0-1 the count here on Cronin. Updegraff sets and fires. Takes that one on the inner edge of the strike zone, quickly down on the count 0-2. Go-ahead run for the Golden Eagles stands in scoring position at second base still. And that is Nathan Ashcraft, who so far since entering the game for Patchett is 2 for 2. Up to Graff's 0-2. Breaks low and misses for ball 1. And as well as the day has gone on, the fans continuing to pile in here at Conotton Valley High School. A solid turnout for a Tuesday afternoon doubleheader. Up to Graff's 1-2, well upstairs. And once again, in less than 24 hours, we will be back on the air at Alliance High School tomorrow as the Aviators take on Canton Central at 5 p.m. That broadcast expected to go live at around 4:45. Here's the 2-2. Thought about it, and we are full. But a good big league take there from Cronin. Jackson Monard, he wants his attempt in the on-deck circle. There has been some action, not too much as of late in the bullpen. We'll see if we do get any more. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch. Up and in for ball 4. Runner still going, and he is there. Ashcraft causing some chaos and nearly had a chance to turn the corner and go home. But now runners at the corners, 2 down. A gutsy call to move there, a delayed steal, and here comes Jackson Monard. Monard has reached on an error and has grounded out so far today. And now time for the first and third call from Shenango's head coach. As of course you have to try to make this the most effective play possible. Would I be surprised to see a pickle between first and second base forced from Cronin? Absolutely not. In fact, I kind of do expect it. He does have the speed, and we saw with Ashcraft, he is not afraid to take some risks. If that happens, don't be surprised. At the same time, wouldn't be surprised to see them play it on the safer side either. Runner, he will break. It's a chopper off towards the right side. They need the out at 1. The play is in time, and the side is retired. A nice job by Micheletti over at second, ending the inning, preventing any damage for the KSU Tusk Golden Eagles. Through 5, 4-4 your score. To the 6th we go on SmeeSports. On to the 6th inning at Conotton Valley High School in Bowerston. 4-4 your score on SmeeSports and game number 2 of our, well, really long doubleheader. Once again, game number 1 going 4 hours and 27 minutes so far in game number 2, around an hour and a half in, and to be exact, exactly at an hour and a half. So right now at about 6 total hours of baseball played in totality, not just going from start time to where we are currently at 5:20. It's a good rip up the middle and a leadoff single for Shenango. Guarnieri, a solid poke right up the gut. He is now 1 for 3 today. And still some action in the bullpen for the Golden Eagles as they are getting Aiden Baker, the junior from New Philadelphia, warm. With the Arion Checo trying to settle things down at the top of the 6th, giving his offense another chance to rally in the bottom. And with the leadoff man aboard, here comes Walker, the right fielder. First pitch in there for strike one. All the way around, a fun day of baseball. The sun and the wind, I would say, at a very tolerable rate right now. And it has made for a beautiful evening in March. And a beautiful drive deep to left field, still going back, and that one is gone! A two-run bomb for Brady Walker, and Penn State Shenango has their lead right back. Make it 6-4 Nittany Lions. When there's heat, there's smoke. And there is the powerful bat of Walker on display. And you can hear them right in front of us. They are turned up. And you see the end of that cohort there. 6-4 now your score. And that'll clear the bases, still no one down. And most likely here comes your call to the bullpen. And indeed it will be Aiden Baker coming out of the mound as your fourth pitcher today in game number 2. When we return, 6-4 Shenango, the Nittany Lions on top by 2. Today's broadcast is brought to you by John G. Cloft Consulting. Thank you to the Cloft and Bohannon families for making today's telecast possible here at Conotton Valley High School. Time now for the call to the bullpen for the Golden Eagles. And for the junior transfer from Malone, it is going to be Aiden Baker on the rubber for the Golden Eagles as they try to work out of this 6th inning jam. Already 2 runs scoring, courtesy of a 2-run homer from Brady Walker over the left field wall. Once again, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening, live here on the SmeeSports YouTube channel as a part of our college baseball coverage. Still some more college action later on this week as, again, we will be back here on Sunday on the field behind us for some KSU Tusk softball against Penn State Fayette at 1 and 3 p.m. on Sunday. But right now the focus is on the action here. A new ball game. Shenango, their first lead in a little while, but as we have seen today, the moment the Nittany Lions find the lead, KSU Tusk has been able to respond. But right now the response has to be strictly defensive. And all of their scoring has been done across the last couple of innings. 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and 2 so far in the 6th with none down. And a 1-1 count now. Looking at KSU Tusk, all of their runs came in the 4th. Nothing in the 5th. And that solid cushion they had a little while ago has been depreciated and now gone. The 1-1 missing for ball 2. A good eye indeed for Penn State Shenango. Bevan so far today 1 for 2 with a base knock and a fly out to left field. Baker sets and deals a 2-1. Runs it in there and finds the zone, evening things up at 2-2. A good get-right attempt there from Baker, now needing to dial it in for out number 1. Looking ahead to the bottom of the inning, it's Walter Schofield, Maine, 7, 8, and 9 for the Golden Eagles. Baker, a deep breath before the 2-2. Off the plate, we are full. Plenty of good patience here from Penn State Shenango in the 6th. But no matter what happens, they will have the big advantage of the 2-run homer, the only home run for either team today. Baker ready to go for the payoff pitch. He leaves it high for ball 4. And their strong start to the inning will continue for the Nittany Lions. Still no one down, and it's essentially like your leadoff man is aboard, but with an extra cushion. We saw Dom Zatello run in game number 1, and yet again in game number 2, the freshman from Austintown Fitch High School will be on to run the bases for the Nittany Lions. Plenty of local talent on the roster. We've seen South Range represented. We have seen Austintown Fitch. Going back to the last time we were here at Conotton Valley, we saw Canton Central represented. So a lot of the Pennsylvania schools taking some of the local Ohio talents. Bunt shown and fouled back. Tyler Evans, the senior, now stepping in yet again. 1 for 2 on the day. He grounded out to Foltz back in his first at-bat in the 3rd. And then followed it up with a base knock the last time he was in the batter's box. Of course, his goal is to replicate what he did the second time opposed to the first. The 0-1 bunt shown again and pulled back. And at least energy-wise, you can just feel all of the momentum right now with Penn State Shenango. A dugout more vocal than KSU Tusk. The Golden Eagles, of course, right now on the diamond, but we need to see more from the guys in the dugout and more energy all the way around. The 1-1 pulled back again. And beyond just the energy, you can just feel the game slowing down. The later it gets in the day, the longer and longer it goes on. And, of course, having to play this game off the back of a 4.5-hour game with no break, it's not easy. Baker's 2-1, well up high for ball 3. In the on-deck circle, it is Fornataro, the center fielder, 1 for 3 on the day, but a chance to keep it going with potentially 2 ducks on the pond. No new action in the bullpen quite yet for KSU Tusk, but that could change, as it looks like Dakota Foltz is going to run down there, and this could just be a Penn, or it could easily be him getting some action. And a good drive into left field, and it will get down for a base knock. Hit number 10 this afternoon in game number 2 for Penn State. And back to the top of the order we go. But so far in the 6th inning, base knock, 2-run homer, walk, and single. The bats have been hot as of late. And it looks like it is going to be number 42, Caden Comphorst, a freshman, getting warm. I would have been really surprised to see Foltz warm up to go in again. Or really anybody else. That would be yet another pitcher used today by KSU Tusk, as they have used the majority of their pitchers in game number 2. Bunt shown. The bunt is forced down. A nice little stride play by Baker for out number 1. But that'll put 2 runners in scoring position. So a very effective out here for Shenango. And to bring up Micheletti, who has grounded out twice and has reached on an error once. And it looks like at long last, the softball team for KSU Tusk is ready to go and warm up and do their practice. Again, one game being delayed just because of how long the first one went, derailed a practice for 2 different teams. That's tough to do. First pitch low for ball 1. And Micheletti entering play today, 379 and 2 RBIs. A big chance for that RBI number to double. 1 ball, no strikes here. Baker sets and fires. Low for ball 2. Plate 2 more runs here. That'll make the task of KSU Tusk that much more difficult in the bottom of the inning. And from that point forward, opposed to them being in a spot where they're just counting down the outs defensively, they're going to count them offensively, saying they only have 6 outs to play with. Baker's 2-0. Finds the zone for strike 1. And now this is where the consistency needs to return for the KSU Tusk pitching staff. Baker, pitcher number 4 in this game, number 6 on the day, and 7 is warming up right now. Both teams in total have thrown 7 different guys combined. And we'll see if that number does increase. It's a good drive into left field. That one is down, and that'll drive in a pair. Once again, it is Micheletti providing a spark for the offense, make it 8-4 Penn State. And just like that, he does double his RBI tally on the year from 2-4. A massive 2 RBI double, his first base knock of game number 2. And just like that, all of a sudden you look at this game again, blink and you miss it, 8-4. The Penn State Shenango Nittany Lions are doubling the Golden Eagles. And now that'll bring up Troy Bachman. Bachman, a pair of singles along with an RBI, along with a double play. A long pause, and Baker delivers. First pitch fouled away, 0-1 the count. And of course the question is, when would you make the call to the bullpen? Would it be still in this inning? With 1 down, definitely on the table. Or would you wait until the 7th to try and give yourself a chance to make it back into the game in the bottom of the inning? An interesting conversation to have when the time does come. The 0-1 off the plate. And looking at the time, we are nearing the 2-hour mark right now at 1 hour and 40 in. And from the time that they got here to now, the Conotton Valley Rockets baseball team has finished their practice on the softball field, no less. The 1-1. Chopped foul down the left field line. And a nice pickup there from Mann. The coach that time says, you know what, son, you got this one. Count out 1 ball, 2 strikes. And assuming the game does end in 7 innings, 23 innings between 2 games will be played today. And again, no need to reiterate, but we will. It has been a long day at the office. Baker's 1-2. A good drive into left field. Monard is underneath it and has it. And they will avoid the tag up again, so the runner will stay put with 2 down. Good relay again from Jackson Monard. A few of them have been very productive today. Again, next inning, Walter Schofield, Maine. 7, 8, and 9 for KSU Tusk. And the bats, they need to wake up yet again. But first, we saw the defensive change, now the offensive, as here comes John Perry, the catcher. Played in game 1, started in game 1, and now a chance to close it out behind the dish. First pitch to him out wide for ball 1. But a 4 spot here in the top of the 6th after a 3 spot in the top of the 5th. To go from the run standpoint, it's a 7-0 run for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Swing and a miss on the 1-0, now 1-1 the count. Usually basketball is the game of runs, but obviously you can use that one 2 ways. Runs and then just the fact that they have scored the last 7 in the game. And for all we know, they could be the last 7. Baker's 1-1. In there for strike 2. And once a lot of the key arms were used up, that is when this game changed. We knew that pitching was going to be a key factor. And as expected, it has been. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Perry looking to keep the inning going. Baker's pitch. A good take upstairs, and he definitely thought about it. And the message from the dugout, be mentally tough, and so far today, everybody on this roster really has been. The toughness is really the difference right now in game number 2. But the Golden Eagles have a chance to respond in the bottom of the inning. Baker's 2-2. Up high, we are full. Still a chance this inning does continue. If it does in the on-deck circle, it turns over to the dangerous third baseman in Nate Evans. An RBI single already offensively to his name in this game. On top of that, a couple of great defensive stops. Full count 3-2. Baker's payoff. It is low for ball 4, and the inning, in fact, will continue. And as Evans steps in, he will be the 9th hitter of the inning. And again, we go back to the question, do we bring in Cam Korst here, or do we see a little stoppage and then you bring him in, which it looks like it is going to be the latter, as Bohannon will go and talk to his pitcher. That's the right call here to try to settle him down, and you make the move then in the 7th. Obviously a tough call to go to another pitcher, but it looks like that will be the right call heading into that frame. And a lot of it does hinge on how good the offense does in the bottom of the inning. If it's a goose egg, you're going to need a lot of help from your defense in the 7th. If you play it 5-6, then you just need them to close it out. So 2 definitely conflicting outcomes. And a good first pitch strike there from Baker. Unfortunately, though, the first pitch strike chant has been pretty much ended. Haven't heard it in a little while. And again, a lot of that comes down to the energy. And did they just call a balk? Indeed, they did. So once again, 2 runners in scoring position. And that's a tough one there. Really hasn't been looked at too many times today, but that time, in a pivotal moment, it goes against the Golden Eagles. But this inning, of course, if the Nittany Lions do win, will be the biggest turning point of the afternoon. The 0-1. Did he go? The answer, yes. Count now 0-2. Evans, 2 prime RBIs waiting for him at 3rd and 2nd. Get this one in the outfield, and it's 10-4 just like that. Was still a strong lead, up by 4 heading into the bottom of the 6th regardless. No balls, 2 strikes. Baker sets and delivers. Off the plate for ball 1. And now, at least from outside the dugout, some encouragement returning, and with it, some energy for the Golden Eagles. But they just have to keep it going. Here's the 1-2. Runs inside and just misses. I would say this has been the longest half inning of the game so far. And, of course, down the stretch as well. And depending on how the offense responds for KSU Tusk, we could see yet another one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down at the top of the 6th. Baker sets and delivers again, and he will miss on the inner edge of the plate. Full count 3-2, and again in the on-deck circle, it is Guarnieri. Guarnieri so far today, a single and 2 flyouts. Chance for him to get a slight improvement at the end of his outing. Baker's payoff pitch, fouled back. And I think based on the way that the action has ended in the bullpen, if the bases were to load, we would see a pitching change. But of course, a tough call to make either way. You want to keep your faith in Baker to get out of this inning, but at the same time, you need to get out of it at some point in some way, no matter how. And if these 2 runs score, you're looking closer to that run rule than tying it up. Here's the payoff pitch. Again, fouled away. And obviously it would take one heck of a change to see that happen. But again, that 5-run point is the tipping point between ending the game or getting towards that 10-run rule. But really impressive to see the contrast between games 1 and 2 today. 12 combined runs here, while we had 7 through 16 innings during the first. Count remains full, 3-2. The payoff pitch. Inside for ball 4. And the bases again are loaded. And now, once again, it's question time for the Golden Eagles. And it appears the answer is no for now. And now time is called, so it looks like the answer will be yes. And we will have the call to the bullpen here, most likely. Again, it would be Caden Camphorst coming on to pitch if that were to be the case. And it looks like that is going to be the decision here. And there you have it. When we return, we will have a new arm on the mound for KSU Tusk. Caden Camphorst is all warmed up and ready to go as we get things underway here in the top of the 6th inning after the pitching change. Bases loaded, 2 down. A tough spot for Camphorst to come into, but a chance for him to get out of the inning and give his offense a chance to get back to the sticks. First pitch misses low for ball 1. And for Shenango, it'll be Guarnieri, the first baseman, leading it off out of the break. 1 for 3 so far today. Already 4 runs have come to pass this inning, including a go-ahead home run. The 1-0. hits the outer edge, evening things up. As well, we will have more action in the bullpen as Cohen Larson is now getting warm for the Golden Eagles. He would be arm number 6 if he does come in. Cam Horst 1-1, power, foul, and nearly off the light pole as well. Count out 2-2. Still a chance here. Guarnieri, plenty of power, and we just saw it moments ago. The 1-2, hard grounder over towards first. It's Ashcraft, and the inning is over. A nice job by the first baseman, picking that one up and retiring the side, but not before 4 runs come across to score for the Nittany Lions. Middle of 6 in Bowerston. It is Penn State Shenango up 8-4 on Kent State Tuscarawas. Owen Walter steps in to get things underway in the bottom of the 6th inning of game number 2 of our doubleheader. 8-4 your score. Penn State Shenango on top of KSU Tusk. Once again, I am Nathan Smee on the call for you this evening, live from Conotton Valley High School in Bowerston. It'll still be Sean Updegraff on the mound for the Nittany Lions, as it looks like we do have some action in the bullpen for PSU, and that could be for a potential closer in the 7th. Walter on the first pitch, a hard grounder over towards short. Bachman's throw is on the money on an excellent stretch for out number 1. Guarnieri, an excellent job getting that extension over there while keeping that plant foot on the bag. Quickly, 1 up, 1 down, as here will come Cam Schofield for the Golden Eagles. Thus far, an RBI single and a line out to third. And if we're playing the how many outs you have left a game, only 5 remain for KSU Tusk. And needing 4 runs, you do have to manage this the right way and pretty much score a run per out. First pitch, a tough miss for ball 1. But if Updegraff can get out of this inning for Shenango, they would be in a great spot to bring on a closer for the 7th and get out of here that way. The 1-0 missing up and out for ball 2. On the Golden Eagles end, plate 2. Hold up in the top of the 7th. Your offense has a chance to do some damage again at the bottom of the inning to try and walk out of here with a win and the series sweep. The 2-0 runs inside for ball 3. And the on-deck circle for the Golden Eagles, it is Braden Main. Three balls to no strikes. The pitch. It is there for strike 1. The exact response that Updegraff needed there. And it'll be interesting to see if we do see a base runner here for the Golden Eagles, if we do see the pitching change. And now we will have our answer, as there is ball 4. It does appear, at least for the time being, for Updegraff, that he does have a long-ish leash. Maine trying to change that here, down by 4 for the offense, and just given how they have hit as of late, plenty of time. You do need 4 here. You need one heck of a rally to get out of here with the win, but it doesn't all have to come right now. First pitch in there for strike 1. And I think part of the issue for the Golden Eagles, Optograph not the fastest pitcher. So adjusting to that speed has not been a delight for them so far. His 0-1. Maine chops it foul. And nearly a coaching fielding play down at third, but in the end it's off his hands and into the outfield. We've seen a couple of them today, but plenty of errors from both third base coaches. Of course, it doesn't matter in the end, and of course doesn't even appear on the stat sheet, but still something to look at. No balls, 2 strikes the count. Optograph shakes 1, agrees with 2. The pitch, a beauty, but just missing. A big league take there from Braden Maine, and it looks like Perry is going to say it's off the plate. But height-wise, I mean, picture perfect. Throwback before the 1-2. A good throw right on the money, but just not in time. And that's what I've been preaching all day, that throw in stride. You just see the way that he plays it. You throw the ball right where the runner is going to be diving to. You guide that glove down, and it gives you a chance to get him. The 1-2 now fouled back by Maine. Not too many pitches in game number 1 for Optograph, and so far in game number 2 at around 40. The board currently has him at 38. But a lot of that has been helped out by his strong defense. Count remains 1-2. And Maine, a good rip up the middle, caught over at short. They throw back to 1. It is going to be wide. And I believe it is going to be off of the KSU Tusk first base coach. But another web gem, now 2 down. That nearly could have been a double play from Bachman solely. He has made both out so far, as here comes Caleb Campbell back at the top of the order. If you are to have a rally, the top is where you want to be. And just given what we have seen from the top of the order today, and just historically, not a bad spot to be. First pitch, bouncing in for ball 1. Next inning for Penn State, it is going to be Walker, Bevan, and Evans, 7, 8, and 9. A tough spot here for the Golden Eagles, backs against the wall. The 1-0, there for strike 1. And a nice job there, evening things up. Kind of out 1-1 the pitch. Fouled back and off the net. That'll shake things up a little bit right in front of us. Count now sits at 1-2. And again, looking at the clock now, 5:55, over 2 hours in to game number 2. Runner goes on the 1-2, popped up by Campbell, off into foul territory, and it is going to drop out of play. So we will do it again. And a nice job over at first base by Guarnieri. Of course, had to go and scale the mound in the bullpen. It's not an easy one to field, obviously, if you're going backwards, and we've seen that happen here if you fall over that one. Not a pleasant moment, but that time going forward, had to play it weirdly. And for those in-betweeners that kind of fall right in the bullpen, definitely a tough one to read. The only positive is the sun, not as much of a factor right now as it is beginning its descent. Runner goes again on the 1-2. Campbell skies this one into left field. And there is Evans. The side is retired. Nice job by Evans out in left, making the play to get the final out of the 6th. To the final inning today, potentially we go top of 7 when we return to Conotton Valley High School. Today's broadcast is brought to you by John G. Cloft Consulting. Thank you to the Cloft and Bohannon families for making today's telecast possible. To the top of the 7th inning we go. 8-4 your score. Penn State Shenango on top of KSU Tusk as you are watching college baseball on SmeeSports. Again, a long day at the ballpark this afternoon. A 4.5-hour game one at just over 2 hours into game number 2. Cam Course's first pitch is high for ball 1. And I think both sides collectively agree if we do have another 2 hours of this that it would be nonsense. But already shaping up to be one of the longest doubleheaders possible, as if you look at just the start time that was scheduled at 11 to now at 6, 7 hours of baseball. Kind of 1-1. And of course we had a shorter break than expected in between games, and there was once upon a time that we thought we weren't going to have game number 2. But a special thanks goes out to the Conotton Valley baseball team for moving their practice over to the softball field, and for the Golden Eagles softball team for being patient as we wait for this game to get done. In the end, the practice did end in time, as then they took over and we're back on track on both fields. Which again is really weird to say, considering that while these are the home fields, there is no KSU Tusk branding on either one, and priority is with them right now. 2 balls, 1 strike. Camhorse sets and fires. There for strike 2. And at least in the 7th inning, and since Camhorse has come on, we have seen a lot of extra comments from the dugout, and that liveliness can really help them once you enter the bottom of the 7th inning trying to start a rally. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitch. Gonna miss low in the dirt for ball 3, and we are full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the count after Walker, who had a home run his last time, it turns to Bevan. Camhorse looking for out number 1. Here's the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Gets him to chase the high heat. 1 down. A perfectly placed pitch from Camhorse, and he will get his first strikeout of the day. And for the staff in this game, only the 2nd. And it comes at a big time, just trying to settle this game down and get back to your offense. 1 up, 1 down, as here comes Mason Bevan, the DH. A single, a walk, and a strikeout to his name so far. We got to see these guys last inning as they went around all 9. First pitch, missing low for ball 1. Well, that encouragement definitely helping out his performance thus far. And again, I'll keep reiterating, as long as we see it, it needs to continue into the bottom of the 7th inning, and that's a non-negotiable. Here's the 1-0. Well up high for ball 2. In the on-deck circle for Shenango, it turns to Tyler Evans. And the defense of KSU Tusk, very unorthodox, with Salgado standing in right field as the second baseman. The 2-0 popped up and out of play. And it's caught behind us. How about it? Dakota Foltz tried going for his 2 wins today. Instead, he gets a foul ball out of play. And banana ball, that would be out number 2, but unfortunately for KSU Tusk, not the name of the game right now. The 2-1. Up high for ball 3. Bevan looking to reach safely for the 3rd time today in game number 2. Here's the 3-1, and it is there for strike 2. A full count now on hand. And that is exactly what the doctor ordered. Needed something in the zone to keep fighting. And now a pivotal pitch for Camhorse, as he looks to get 1 out closer to retiring the side. Here's the payoff pitch. Hard chopper foul towards the dugout. And we will have to see him do it again. So far in game number 2, only 1 defensive change for KSU Tusk. That is Ashcraft over at first base in place of Patchett. Payoff pitch again. He did go 2 down. A tough one there, but back-to-back punch-outs for Caden Camphorst. And a big strikeout at that, as again, that ignites the excitement from the dugouts. And back to Tyler Evans we go. 2 for 3 so far in game number 2. He grounded out to get things underway in this game and then followed it up with 2 base knocks. And again, in the bottom of the 7th inning, Salgado, Ashcraft, and Bohannon. 2, 3, and 4 for the Golden Eagles. Did he go? That's the question. The answer, no. KSU Tusk, they wanted to give their thoughts, and same with Shenango. Count now 1-0. And I love the banter back and forth between the dugouts, of course. Rivals on the field, but off of it, just ball players just playing at the college level, trying to enjoy the last couple of years of their careers, or in some cases, trying to propel themselves to the next level. And of course, the next level can come in just so many different ways. Some coaching, some playing overseas, or some making their way to the minor leagues. Count now 1-1. The pitch. Runs inside for ball 2. But just overall a great day of baseball. A great day for the baseball as well, as really cold to start. Chilly throughout the day, but overall manageable down the stretch. And that is assuming this game does get done soon. Camphorst's 2-1 is up high for ball 3. Dominic Fornataro stands in the on-deck circle, getting ready to go at the top of the order if the inning were to continue. A 3-1 count. Camphorst sets and delivers. Swing and a miss. We are full. A big get-right pitch there, and now the chance to close out the inning here. Full count 3-2. So far 11 hits today and 1 error for Shenango in game number 2. Here's the payoff pitch, and it's inside for ball 4. Tough break there, and there comes a chance from their dugout. The first pitch strike, trying to send it right back. Chants are great and all, but, you know, either A, at the high school level, or B, at the college from the benches, you run the risk of hearing it said right back to you, and that's exactly what we heard just there. I know every team has their chance and the things they like to do from the dugouts, and that time again it comes back to cost them. First pitch there for strike 1. And they will bring back the first pitch strike and throw it right back in their face. Not afraid of it. I mean, I respect that, honestly. It's all in the game itself as a part of gamesmanship. The 0-1 missing up high, and we are even. Count out 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, in the bottom of the inning for KSU Tusk, Salgado, Ashcraft, and Bohannon. It'll be 2, 3, and 4. The 1-1 missing up high for ball 2. Count out 2-1. As of right now, the more lively dugout is Shenango. The 2-1 up and in for ball 3. And a chance that the top of the 7th inning does continue. Count out 3 balls, 1 strike. The pitch. Did he go? That's the question. And they will say yes, and they'll bring him right back. We are full. Toss the bat just a second too early. And Fornataro, based on that reaction, he knows what he did. And that's a tough one, of course. 3-1, no signal. You wait for the appeal, and then eventually you go down. In some cases, you just go down. That time went too early. And he is brought right back. Full count, still 3-2. Runner goes, payoff pitch. And there is ball 4. So the inning indeed will continue the same exact way. Just 1 extra pitch thrown in. Camhorst now at 27 total on the day. And for those keeping track at home, once again, he is your 5th pitcher. Still 2 down, as that'll bring in Micheletti. Back-to-back walks as the first pitch skips in for ball 1. And the worst thing possible here would be to load up the bases on walks. The Golden Eagles looking to get away out of this inning and head to the bottom of the frame, looking to keep the game intact, down by 4, needing 4 runs to tie or 5 to win. The 1-0 missing up and out for ball 2. Could always see a call to the bullpen potentially if needed, but at this point I do think that Camhorst is going to finish out. At least I think just kind of given the trust that they've put in him in this inning, that if they were to make the change now, the effectiveness wouldn't be there. And that pitch is passed. Took a deflection off the umpire again. 3-0 count, and that'll put both runners in scoring position, which if this is a walk and the bases load, that really won't matter. But Penn State Shenango very pleased with how the 7th inning is playing out, and in general the last couple of innings. The Golden Eagles need a strike here. And they get it. Count out 3-1. If the inning were to continue, it would go to Troy Bachman, the shortstop. And defensively and offensively, both solid days for him. The 3-1, it is up and out for ball 4, and the bases are now loaded. So now anything in the run department really makes the comeback that much more improbable. This will be one of the biggest at-bats of the day. Of course, the biggest one so far, the 2-run homer from Brady Walker. And as things stand, that was the beginning of your difference. First pitch off the plate for ball 1, and that difference at one point was 2 based on that homer, and then 2 more did come to pass in the 6th. But all 8 runs have scored after the first 3 innings of nothing. And they were really quick innings, too. Nearly we got through 4 innings in 40 minutes, and then the offense came. The 1-0 misses up high for ball 2. And still with his lead in mind, head coach down at 3rd, giving his coaching instructions, and that is how you get better, no matter the result and no matter where you are in the game, up by 4, down by 4. Still a learning experience in conference play. The 2-0 off the plate for ball 3. I wouldn't be surprised here, though, if this is a walk, and that'll make it 9-4, that we do see the call to the bullpen and somebody comes on to throw. And at that point, it could be a question of who do you want to bring on? Is it one of your actual arms or somebody who you just want to give an inning to? Here's the 3-0. It is going to be there for strike 1. And yet another walk, the bat prematurely out of the hand. That has happened on a few occasions today. (3-1) here on Bachman. 2 for 4 so far in game number 2. Already 1 RBI to his name. Chopper down the third base line. And there is the end of the inning. A nice job by Maine over at third, as he's able to step on the bag and settle things down. 3 outs for KSU Tusk to play with when we return, down 8-4 against Penn State Shenango. Today's broadcast is brought to you by John G. Cloft Consulting. Thank you to the Cloft and Bohannon families for making today's telecast possible, along with Coach Cole Morozak over at Kent State Tuscarawas. Before we get back to the action, as once this one is done, I think in the action of just keeping it simple, we're going to head off the air after announcing our player of the game. If you want to broadcast, advertise with us, information to do so is on your screen. As well, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at SmeeSports, or Instagram and TikTok at SmeeSports, on Twitter at SmeeFest2024, and that's SmeeSports LLC on Facebook and LinkedIn. And we will be back on the air tomorrow. Alliance CCC softball at 5, then Alliance Warren JFK baseball on Friday at 5, then a doubleheader 1 and 3, KSU Tusk versus Penn State Fayette softball on Sunday across the way at Conotton Valley High School's softball field. With housekeeping out of the way, welcome back to the action here. Bottom of 7, it's go time for the Golden Eagle offense, trying to still find a way to pull this one out. The 1-0, up and in for ball 2. Up to graph 1 strikeout so far today, and most likely not the longest leash right now. Still 46 pitches in, but at the same time, he did pitch in game number 1. Here's the 2-0. Chopper over towards third, picked up by Evans. His throw to 1 is on the money. 1 up, 1 down. An excellent start to the inning defensively for the Nittany Lions. Now 2 outs away from getting revenge and redemption for game number 1. And that'll bring up Nathan Ashcraft, the first baseman. 2 for 2 since coming into the ball game for Jeremy Patchett. Jeremy's day in game number 2 short-lived, but a long stint in game number 1, playing in all 16 innings. Ashcraft takes a first pitch strike. If this result does hold, Penn State Shenango would improve to 7-10 of the year, while KSU Tusk would fall to 14-10. Here's the 0-1. Good take there from Ashcraft. Either way, still, as of right now, regardless of other games or independent of that is the better way to put it, they would be in the top 10 of the USCAA rankings, which is key. Only the top 10 teams make it to the tournament, and they're able to have a chance to be in the top 10 power rankings starting tomorrow. The 1-1, another chopper fouled on the third base line. Count now 1-2. In the on-deck circle, it is going to be Cohen Larson pinch hitting. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. It'll be a drop third strike, so still a throw down to come. And it's on the money, 2 down. And the Nittany Lions can sound their final countdown, 1 out away from getting the series split. That'll be strikeout number 2 today for Updegraff. And what a great outing it has been for him if he can get it done all the way. Cohen Larson, the last line of offense for KSU Tusk. And in the on-deck circle, it is Cronin. So Cronin, a freshman in the on-deck circle, and Larson, a freshman in the batter's box. So 2 younger guys on the roster with a chance to keep this one going. And a lot of pressure, but still definitely manageable. 1-0 the count. The pitch. Foul back. Got now 1-1. Looking at the time of this game so far, starting at around 3:50, just around 2.5 hours. And really a wild number just given how quick of a start we had, 3 innings through 30 minutes. And I believe 4 through 50. But the offense has got rolling then, and the once quick game with no runs became a slugfest of 12 combined. Here comes the 2-1. A good roper down the line and fair into the corner. Cohen Larson getting on 2 now. A great piece of hitting from Cohen Larson, and he is in there. It'll be a 2-out double for KSU Tusk. And if you are to start a 2-out rally, that is how you get it going. And now it turns to Jay Cronin. Had his first career collegiate base hit earlier on in this game, courtesy of a 2 RBI double. And that, at the time, gave KSU Tusk the lead. A chance to do some more magic here, and again, they need to basically bat around here to win it. But no room for errors. Optograph and company looking to settle it here and make their trip back to PA. First pitch there for strike one. And a really high strike there. We have seen a lot of the zones changing today. At one point, really down low, that we saw some of those below knee strikes, and now some higher offerings getting called. And that one in there as well. 0-2 the count on Conotton. The Golden Eagles now down to their final strike this afternoon. Penn State Shenango looking to close it out here, one strike away from getting the series split with the Golden Eagles. Optographs 0-2. It is there for strike three looking. The side is retired, and that is going to do it. 8-4 your final in game number 2. Penn State Shenango knocks off KSU Tusk. And again, Optograph, a third strikeout, a solid outing for him in game number 2. Your player of the game presented by SmeeSports for game number 2. That'll have to go to Brady Walker, the go-ahead home run back in the 6th inning. That ended up being the difference for a time. 8-4 your final, and he will walk away with player of the game honors. And that'll do it for us here today at Conotton Valley High School in game 1. After 16 innings, 4-3 your final. KSU Tusk gets the win. And in game number 2, 8-4, Penn State Shenango able to knock off KSU Tusk. For Nathan Smee, I am saying so long from Bowerston, Ohio. And we will see you again tomorrow for some exciting Alliance Aviator softball as you have been watching college baseball on SmeeSports.